Yeah, take that, you dinky little Pentastar V6. But seriously, like this, oh yeah. And especially, I mean, you guys remember, I'm at like 4,500 feet elevation. So, hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a modified 2022 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon with the Xtreme Recon package and the 2-liter turbo. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the new owner, Brad, for giving me some time with his Jeep. He actually works at the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy. So if you're looking for a Dodge Ram, Jeep, or Chrysler, definitely reach out to him. He's actually helped out a bunch of you that are subscribed to the channel. So let's just continue this trend. So ask for Brad. I'll also include a link to their website in the description down below so that you can find a way to contact him. Anyways, on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car as well, link to my car buying guide. Let's get into the video. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 270 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque. And since this is an Xtreme Recon, it has an axle ratio of 4.56. So let's go over the front end of this Rubicon. So just like other Rubicons, you have the cool sport hood with the venting on either side. We've got the Rubicon logo here on the side as well, and the red is kind of hidden because this one is bright red. We've got the LED light package here with the headlights, and then the turn signal / daytime running light, and then we got Jeep's signature front grille here. Notice we got the red tow hooks that signify this is a Rubicon, and yes, this one has the bumper that you want. You can actually put a winch in. And you guys can see here with the solid front axle that comes with the Wrangler. And yeah, the stance on this is just amazing. So coming around the side here, we've got 17-inch wheels, and wrapped around that we have 37s in the front and in the rear. Now this does not come stock with 37s for the Xtreme Recon package. It actually comes stock with 35s, but Brad added 37s to it, and we'll kind of talk about why in a moment. But we also have these beadlock capable wheels that I think look fantastic. Those are stock with the package. Now this has the AEV 2.5-inch lift system with it. You guys can see the Bilstein shocks that come with it, and this is a huge improvement over stock because obviously we've got more ride height, but on top of having extra ride height, this should be much better at damping compared to the stock system, because the regular shocks are just regular Mopar shocks that frankly suck in my personal opinion. I know this because I also own an Xtreme Recon, and so yeah, definitely a solid system to go for. And between the 37s and the 2.5-inch lift, I'm guessing, and I'm probably gonna be off of my numbers a little bit, but I'm guessing this is probably close to what, 14, maybe 15 inches of ground clearance now. I don't know the exact specs, but I mean, it is definitely tall. And then notice we still have the little fender flare extensions here that are part of the Xtreme Recon package. We got the Jeep Wrangler badge here on the side, and then notice here with the mirrors and shortened antenna. That's a smart thing to do because the stock one's huge. And then notice here with the door handles, how they match the top. And then if we take a few steps back, look how cool this thing looks. It's just beautiful. So here is the key fob. It's just a regular Jeep Wrangler key fob, nothing too crazy there. We've got the LED tail lamps as well. And you guys can see here with the tailgate, we actually have the reinforcement on this that comes with the Xtreme Recon, as you can see, but it can also hold a 37 because we got a 37 spare tire. Anyways, here's and look at the rest of the rear, and then obviously got the pop-up window in normal Jeep fashion. But yeah, it's cool that we have a full-size spare and it's able to withstand the weight. Also, cool custom license plate. That's all I'm gonna say, Brad. Nice license plate. But yeah, again, look at this from the rear. It's such a good-looking Jeep. And then notice here with the shocks in the rear as well. And then obviously we got a solid rear axle. Now popping inside here, you guys can see we've got the padding here on the door panel, and we've got the cloth seats you can get with the Rubicon. Now it's got the red stitching throughout. And you got the vents there in the center, you got all of the window controls, USBs, we got the cup holders down below with little Jeep faces in them, which is pretty cool. And I mean, the stitching in the seats kind of matches the color on the outside. I think that's pretty cool with all of the matching, but there you go. Now, quick refresher here, you guys can see the padding on the door panel, and then notice the door lock and unlock, and then the mirror adjustment, and there's a quick look at the mirrors. And then with the seats, got the Rubicon logo, and then notice with the red stitching all throughout. And then we've got our light controls right here with the fog light, and let's pop in. Look at those rock rails, that is cool. Got the grab handle, kind of a jump to get in. So here is the steering wheel. You guys can see here with the leather all around, and then notice we've got the red stitching on the center portion. We got our regular cruise control, radio controls there on the back. We got our controls for the center stack, voice command, phone controls, turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock, you know, all the works. Now here is the gauge cluster. You guys can see we've got the gauges there in red on either side, which I am a huge fan of. And I can't believe Brad has trusted me with his Jeep that has 42 miles on it. Oh man, the stress. But we got the PSI set at the right amount. He's probably going to drive it at a lower PSI because his last Wrangler, he told me that he was, you know, rocking it around like the low 30s. So maybe he'll lower this one down as well. We will see. But I got like the off-road status, all that kind of stuff, which is, you know, normal Jeep stuff. But anyways, also, I mean, 42 miles isn't a lot, but let's see what the fuel economy says so far. 10.3 miles per gallon. I bet I can make that worse today after driving it, but there you go. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we've got the backup camera with trajectory lines. They do turn with the steering wheel, and resolution is really solid. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, we're gonna get rid of that. Response time is fantastic. You know, it's got the control tab where you can access like the backup camera. And then we've got our dual zone climate system. That's the perfect temperature, isn't it? But yeah, other than that, navigation with the screen. Down below, we've got our analog controls for the radio system, dual zone climate system as well. And I love how the recirculate button is a little Wrangler. Got our auto stop start function, stability control. That's your off-road cruise control, the lazy mode, right? And then we've got our little USB area here. And then we've got all of the window switches here in the center. And we have our off-road plus, right? Sway bar disconnect, and then you have your front and rear lockers. You can lock just the rear if you want. We have our driveline select. So with the 2L, you got your 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and then 4-wheel low. And then we have our shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. And then we've got a normal center console, so it's got like the storage space there on the top and then more on the bottom. And then normal glove box as well. And then notice the red here comes with the Rubicon, which is always fun. And then popping up top, we do have the insulation here at the top, which you guys know I always recommend with the Wranglers to help out with sound deadening and to keep it a little bit warmer in the winter. And then this being a hard top, you can take off this pretty easily. The back, you do need to use tools. So now that we've taken a quick look at this Xtreme Recon with some modifications, let's take it out, see how it drives, and probably end up modifying my Jeep even more after this. Let's look about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood through both the mirrors. And this does have some window tint if you guys are wondering on the rest of the rear. And let's set off. I am extremely excited to drive this because you guys know I have an Xtreme Recon package on my Wrangler as well, and I've been looking at potentially modifying it, and I think that this is a really solid route to go because funny enough, the Xtreme Recon is already like what, 2.5 inches, well it's like, yeah, 2.5 inches over a regular Rubicon, which a regular Rubicon already has like over 11 inches of ground clearance, and it's like, nah, that's not enough. So it's already 2.5 inches lifted more than a regular one, and then this is another like 2.5 inches or something like that. I might be off a little bit by my measurements. It's a typical guy thing to do, right? But the point that I'm trying to make is this is huge when you compare it to like a stock Rubicon with 33s. Between the lift and the tires, this thing is just monstrous. And the re-gearing really helps out with the Xtreme Recon package to actually move the bigger tires. The 4:10 axle ratio on a stock Rubicon is okay, but the 4.56 is so much better. It really is. So first thing that I'm noticing, really smooth actually for a Wrangler, right? It still has normal Wrangler driving dynamics where, you know, because it has a solid front axle, steering kind of goes all over the place, there's a little bit of numbness and all that, but this thing is smooth. I'm driving this back to back with a Grand Cherokee, and I can tell you this is a comfortable ride. Also, the thing I'm noticing with these shocks is it's making it so there's a lot less body roll going around the corners. It's so tight. Yeah, it doesn't have that normal like sway back and forth. That's why I don't like those Mopar shocks. Sorry guys at Mopar, but yeah, they just, you know, they make sense for the Wrangler in certain circumstances, but you know, in all around use, that's just, yeah, not as good as aftermarket shocks like these ones that Bilstein has, well, apparently co-developed for stuff with AEV, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of AEV builds. I've actually reviewed quite a few, but kind of continuing along here, I want to see kind of, we're going to get a partial acceleration. We'll get a bigger one up there. Wow. So here's what I'm gonna tell you guys right off the bat. The 2.0 turbo feels better from acceleration perspective with 37s than the V6 Xtreme Recon does with 35s. Yeah, take that, you dinky little Pentastar V6. But seriously, like this, oh yeah. And especially, I mean, you guys gotta remember, I'm at like 4,500 feet elevation, so turbos are king. And this is something that Brad and I have talked about quite extensively, because he was, you know, like any other Jeep person, a die-hard V6 fan. But then when he took this engine off-road with the Wrangler, he's just completely converted, and now he owns the Turbo 2.0. Like, it's such an underrated engine for the Wrangler, because the torque is fantastic. It can really move the tires, especially at high elevation here. And yeah, this is such a comfortable ride. I mean, this might as well be like a full-blown luxury vehicle at this point. Seriously, it's so comfortable. And again, like I'll show you guys around this corner here with the body roll. Like, it stays planted. It doesn't have that crazy lean. Yeah. Here's the deal. Xtreme Recon, you guys know I'm already a fan of the package because of the re-gearing. But yeah, this 2.5-inch AEV kit and then 37s transforms this. This is just insane. Super capable I mean, I almost said truck, Jeep. I mean, basically it is a truck at this point, right? But you know, when you already have over 12 inches of ground clearance with a regular Xtreme Recon, and this, like I said, I'm guessing, and you know, let me know if my numbers are off. I'm guessing this is probably somewhere in the, you know, 14, maybe 14.5-inch range with the ground clearance. I mean, there's nothing you wouldn't be able to tackle with this. Like, between the fact that the Jeep isn't, you know, massive from a wheelbase perspective and everything, and yeah, I'm super impressed with this. And if you want like a seriously awesome off-roading rig, this is how you do it. And yeah, the Turbo 2.0, that is the one to go for. I would get this over the V6, especially for those of you that live in high elevation places like I do here in Utah. And thanks again to Brad. So the best way for you guys to also thank Brad for making this content possible is go and buy an Xtreme Recon from him. There you go. Trust me, it'll all work out. But I'll see you guys. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Jeep Wrangler Rubicon with the Xtreme Recon package and some, you know, I would say pretty moderate modifications, right? But again, a huge shout out and thank you to Brad. If you're looking for a new Dodge, Ram, Jeep, or Chrysler, definitely reach out to him. He's at the Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah. I'll see all of you in the next video.